We are the roots at the waterline, deep in the bay. We rise, we rise. Black power moving in a straight spine, linked arm to arm, one time.
Okay, so before we get started, this space is not about tearing anyone down. It's about growth. What's shown here is shared under fair use for reflection, commentary, and awareness. It's basically my opinion mixed with some facts. I want us to choose better. Now let's get into it. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Black Opinionated Facts. I am your host and favorite melanated queen, Tori. So we're going to jump right into this one. I'm about to give you 4 different things that if you grew up in a Black household, you heard one of these things for sure. And if you are a person who is still kind of wrestling with why, or even just the wonder of why, or you're doing the same things, you're passing the same things down, that's how you're raising your children, I'm going to give 4 things and a little bit deeper explanation of why they may have been doing these things and where this came from. So let's jump right in. Okay, so the first one is don't tell everybody our business. Do y'all notice how early we learned that? Like before we even knew why, we knew everybody could not have access to our lives. And to me, that wasn't secrecy. That was emotional, like training or, trying to develop some emotional armor even. Everyone cannot hold your story. Everyone will not make room for your pain. That is a life skill. Once you're an adult and you're around more people and stuff, that skill makes a lot of sense because I still use that skill to this day. There are plans I make where I do not tell anybody until they come to pass. There are things in my life that nobody knows until everybody knows. You know what I'm saying? Or nobody will ever know. So the second thing is act right in public. Now for this one, I really think that this is a 50-50 thing where one side is completely generational fear, because we know that as Black people, there was a time where we could leave out with our whole family, way back when, and go to a grocery store and not return with your entire family based on something small. So act right in public was not just awareness at that time. It was life or not life at that time. And then I feel like as the generation started to go on, it turned into more of an awareness thing. But I want to point out some good things about that, because I feel like also it helps you. Like when I go into a room, I can read a room immediately. I can read a room. Immediately I know if it's time to get up out of there, this is not a space for me. Immediately I can go into a place of business or a store or anything like that. And even now as a business owner, I know who to do business with and who not to do business with based off of very small things because of that awareness. Okay, the third thing is always put something up. Money under your bed or at the top of your closet. The deep freezers with the extra food. All of those kind of things, they were not just habits. They were built from experience. When things change fast, which they change fast sometimes for our culture, when things change fast, you got to have your own safety net. You have to have those things already in place. You know what I'm saying? One of our favorite sayings is stay ready so you do not have to get ready. And I believe that trickle down. Like I said, all of these things have a dash of generational fear in them. But I do believe that they made us very aware. Okay, and the last and final one, number 4, is watch people. Not in a judgy way. It was in an observing way. Observe people. Watch them. Watch how they speak. Watch how they move. And most importantly, because I still carry this to this day, and it has saved me from so many people's nonsense, watch how they treat others. I have cut so many people off based on how I watched them treat someone else completely unnecessarily cruel. I'm not trying to be next. That wasn't just generational fear. That was them trying to teach us pattern recognition. So a lot of what we thought was just how we were raised was actually training. And I do believe that it was awareness based, but I do believe that generational fear that was inserted in there made things very confusing because there was no explanation to these things. You know, why are we doing these things? And I think that is so important. I explain almost everything to my children now because of that. Because you grow up and you really don't understand why. You know, and sometimes it makes you, angry or resentful or any of these feelings because you still just don't understand why. It just seemed like, some of those things were just like, you're just being mean, or you don't want me to have fun, or, things like that. But they were trying hard to protect us. I really hope that made a lot of sense and even resonated with some people. And before I go, I want to share this super quick story because I thought it was so profound and it goes perfect with this video. And so there was a mother and daughter about to bake a ham. So the mom chops off the sides of the ham to fit it inside of her pan. She puts it inside her pan. And her daughter goes, well, why are you chopping off the sides? And she said, well, because my mother did. But she didn't know why her mother did. So she goes to her mother. She asks her mother, why'd you chop off the sides? Her mother goes, because my mother did. So on and so forth until they got to the person. Get to the person, say, why'd you chop off the sides? And she goes, because I never had a pan that could fit the whole ham. So they were passing this down and it was so unnecessary. And they didn't even understand why. It was just being passed down. And so I actually hope that helps someone to maybe even soften your heart about something that was a part of your childhood and you did not understand it. And now as you've gotten older, you understand that it was for your safety, your protection, and your care. And they may not have even understood it when passing that thing down. But I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching and being here with me. Now, if you stay to the end of the video, drop down in the comments and tell me what's something that you were raised on that has helped you in your adult life. Because we know that perspective changes everything. Now, that's a Black opinionated fact.